You are now entering the Thick Goddess Energy Morning Show. We in the building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuted my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Found out I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. Morning, good morning, good morning. It's Thursday. Wake the fuck up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Rise and grind. Whatever you need to hear to wake up, right? Spirit is telling you to get the fuck up. Why am I trying to block myself? Like, really, Ariana? Delete comment is what I'm trying to do. All right. Anywho. So it's Thursday. This is the Thick Goddess Energy Morning Show. I am your host, Ariana, aka Divine Moon Goddess, coming at you with some real ass shit. This show is brought to you by Divine Moon Goddess Healers and Readings.com, where your questions get answered. So don't be afraid to go over there and book if you need some advice, if you need some guidance, if you want to clarify some things in your life, if you want to clear up some confusion that's going on in your life. Definitely come on over there and book with me. This is also sponsored by Shanti Rentals Inc. And of course, if you want to sponsor the morning show, should you want to donate or anything like that, just to say thank you. Information is in the description on where to reach me or reach out to me, should I say. So got a little promo video that we're going to watch real quick. So we will be right back. Today is about delusions versus illusions. We're going to talk about it and see if we can define and get clarity on when to understand and know when we're being in either of those and when we need to get that reality check back, right? All right, here we go. I'm just going to keep on busting out these commercials. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Erica. If you guys didn't know, that is my next Oracle deck coming in 2023. You can grab a copy. Well, you can pre order your copy and be one of the first to get it when it drops in 2023. If you go to my website only, do not send me any money anywhere else for your copy, as I want all of it to go through my website so I have one place to track it. So yes, 44 beautiful cards coming very soon. But again, it's not going to drop until 2023, just so you know. So, um, and I always get a limited amount of cards. So you don't want to wake up divergent. You know what? I didn't either. I wanted to stay in bed. I think I say this every day. I think this has become my thing. Good morning, Erica. I don't know who is Facebook user in the tribe, but good morning, Boo. Good morning, Daniela. Roshan, good morning. Good morning, Chantel. I think I'm starting to say this shit too often. Good morning, Noel. I am saying it too often where I want to sleep, but you know, it's kind of cloudy and shit outside today. So it makes me want to just go lay in the bed and kind of sleep. Good morning, Sakori. Good morning, Heather and Lashina. Good morning. Good morning. Everybody wake the fuck up, right? If they ain't awake, they gonna be awake now. So we kind of diverted yesterday, but it was actually a good conversation. I liked it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I love where we went with that. So this morning we are going to talk about and compare delusions with illusions, right? Two very similar concepts, but quite frankly, it happens a little bit differently. Two, I think, especially our mental state, it happens very differently of what you can see in a delusional state. And we're not going to get clinical on it. We're going to talk about some of the more day-to-day delusions. Okay, should I say this? The day-to-day delusions, the day-to-day illusions that we create in our life, and how can we become more aware of what we're doing and how we're doing it. Because we like to create this fantasy world about shit sometimes. We like to create the world out of what we hope it can be. And sometimes we get lost in that energy. We get lost in what it could be, and we stop seeing what it is. And as soon as you stop seeing what it is, that's where you go into whether it's the delusion or the illusion state, right? Good morning, Brenda. So hopefully you guys are becoming more aware of your lives, and this normally happens on any path, especially in the spiritual path, right? Because the spiritual path starts to open our minds, our consciousness, and elevate us, and then we start to see some shit from a different perspective. And when your perspective changes, it can shake those illusions. We know, unfortunately, there's a fad going on with spell work, and you guys have seen it. You guys seen it on TikTok. You see it on Instagram. You see all of these people promoting fucking, get someone to like you or get someone to think about you and doing all this like bullshit to manipulate someone's energy to get them to think about them. And you guys know how I feel. If you've been watching me for a while, you know how I feel about that. I'm not for that at all. You practice how you want to practice. But I practice in a sense of do no harm. That's how I practice. So, accepting money to force someone to think about somebody is just not something I'm willing to do. As a practitioner, you have to you got to be okay with taking the karma from that, because you're the one performing the shit. So I feel bad for the people who haven't realized that, because I haven't seen not one practitioner living the life that does harm. Not one. Not one. Okay. So, potentially somebody could have your name in a honey jar somewhere, and sometimes you won't realize that. You won't realize until you protect yourself. And it's crazy because the second you protect yourself, all of a sudden, the same shit you were so easily okay with, it's like magic. And you're like, wait a minute. Nope, not okay with that. and you will see. So unfortunately, some people just do some crazy shit, to manipulate energy and other things. But we also create our own illusions besides somebody else doing it for us, right? Um, I'll start with love, because love is a big one, right? Love is a huge one where we get lost in love. And most of the time, it's not love that we're getting lost in. Most of the time, we're lost in infatuation. We're lost in an idea of love. We're lost in the hope of what it could be. Um, and we don't really understand when it's not working, that it needs to, like, it's not working, let this shit go. But a lot of times we're not understanding that, we're not getting that, because we'd rather sit, that's a delusion, right? We'd rather sit in that than look at shit for what it is, especially when it comes to romantic partners. We see it all the time. We've been there. I've been there. Okay. Like, I'm not saying this shit just to chastise no one, but let's just go through the definition real quick. The definition of a delusion, right? Which they do say delusion is a medical condition, and they do connect it to mental disorder, right? So it says in idiosyncratic belief or impression that is firmly maintained despite being contradicted by what is generally accepted as reality or rational argument, typically a symptom of mental disorder. Okay, that's what a delusion is. So anytime you're sitting in a state, of course, most of us in the spiritual world are going against what the norm is. So a lot of people are going to call you delusional. If you sitting here talking about I'm talking to fairies every day, people are going to call you delusional. But I believe you're talking to fairies, okay? So I don't look at you that way. The thing is, everyone has their world, their reality, right? When it comes to that, you very well could be speaking to fucking fairies. But in your life, there are some key factors on how to deal with others to see and be aware of the truth in people's nature. If you're someone who always wants to see the good in people, you have to retrain your dynamic. Not that you don't see the good anymore, but you understand when someone doesn't see themselves through your eyes. Like, you can't keep seeing this person's potential, but they don't ever see it. And you're drowning yourself trying to throw them a life raft. Like, there has to be a moment of awareness that you stray away from trying to get someone to see what they don't see. Yes, be loving. Yes, be compassionate. Yes, be understanding, but also know when to walk away. Also know when to let go. Also know when to take a step back. And I think we don't do that enough. One, we get afraid of losing people, right? Because you will. You will. Someone who's not honest or true or loving, you will lose them. You will lose them. The second that you don't sit in that energy that you've been sitting in, that's uncomfortable as fuck and scary. And sometimes it's just devaluing your own self to stay there, right? Good morning. I don't know who Facebook user is, but good morning, boo. You said try be charming to get their attention. So it would be delusional to sit in any, I don't care if it's romantic, it's a friendship, to sit in any connection or situation because of what it could be. There has to be a point. We all have goals, and we all have kind of where we're striving for, right? But you have to be in the present moment. And if you're in the present moment, you're seeing shit for what it is. If you're becoming in the present moment, you are no longer seeing what it could be. You know what it could be. That's a given. You know where you've been and where it's been, whether it's a situation or yourself. But now in the present, you're in the present. You're seeing shit for what it is right now in this moment and staying true to that. When you start to shift in that sort of structure, you will start to alleviate a lot of shit that you go through with people and situations, because you're no longer trying to convince anybody of anything. You're just doing your thing. you know? Right. It is very tiring to have to keep trying to get someone to see what they could be if they don't see it. If you have someone who feels worthless, no matter how many times, and you guys have probably been in that space. I've been in that space. I've been in that space where people give me compliments and I couldn't accept those compliments because I felt like shit. It had nothing to do with them. I felt like shit. So I couldn't take the compliment. So if you're in a state of unworthiness, no matter how many times somebody tells you you're awesome and you're beautiful and you're smart and you're intelligent and you're such a good person, if you don't fucking believe that to the core of you, it doesn't matter what anybody says because you don't believe it. You don't. You don't believe it. And if you don't believe that, in turn, you're not going to value what somebody is telling you. You're not going to hold it in that heart space. Why? Because you're not there. You're not there to see it. Exactly. You got to let go. Don't stay in this state, right? Which causes you a lot of chaos and unrest, messes up your peace because you're trying to force people to see shit that's not there right now. It's not. Because the truth and reality is, if you come to the present and you look at what the present is, you're like, all right, you got to take a step back, right? If we look out of illusions, right? The definition of illusion is a thing that is or is likely to be wrongly perceived or interpreted by the senses. Okay? For me, delusion and illusion sound a lot alike, just different bases. Same thing. Perception is everything in our lives. No two people have the same perception, no matter how much you agree. Everyone has a unique perception as you are unique being in this world, right? So everything is based on what you know in your space and your experiences, your hurt, your pain, right? And so when we're dealing with others, we have to understand that we're dealing with everyone on their level. You're not dealing with people on your level, not necessarily, like to some extent. Some people are brought into your life that are not on your vibration, but they're brought in your life for a particular reason. If you can become aware in your life where you start to understand that not everybody is brought in your life to stay, right? One, and not everybody is on your level. Two, you can maneuver a little bit differently where you're not dumbing yourself down. You're not dimming your light because somebody else can't shine. You're not dimming your intelligence because someone else feels like they're not smart enough. You're standing in that awareness, but you also understand why people are coming to you. You understand that you're a healer. You understand that you have a knack for guidance. You understand that you can see certain things and feel certain things. So spirit is bringing people to you. You become aware of the whys of the situation instead of just looking at like, why do all these fucking people, where did they come from? Well, there's a reason. Some of it is vibrationally when you're in a bad state. Some people came because you were in just the same bad state, but that's not always the case. There are times when people come into your life, they come to show you things. They come to bring an awareness to you. And if you see it, it's fucking beautiful. If you can see it, it's fucking beautiful. But if you can't see it, you will start to blame yourself. You'll start to blame them. You'll start to question things. You'll start to go off on a whole other tangent of the situation, right? Right, right. You can't change how someone feels about themselves. They have to. And I know for a fact, I don't care how many times people could call me beautiful, I still felt worthless as shit to a certain extent. Um, and I had to work through that and love myself again. And that took me a while. It took me a couple years to really get back to loving myself to a state where I can accept compliments and be like, you know what? Thank you. you know, just thank you. And not nothing else. Just purely thank you for that. Um, some of our illusions, even like work, everyone has the illusion that they go to work, they're okay. And at any point, you can lose that fucking job. That's awareness, is understanding that. And maybe have a backup plan. Maybe have a backup plan because you're working for a company that you know very little about. You don't know the financials about your company unless you're someone who's taken this awareness and you've started to look up, is my company public? Do they talk about their finances publicly? Are they doing okay? Let me research their asses. What's going on in the background? Because at any moment, this place can go out of business. And you are in this illusion thinking that you're safe because you come and clock in and clock out every day, but you're not. We've seen this. A lot of people saw this in 2020. What happened? That was a huge eye opener. And if you didn't take anything from 2020, I hope you took that aspect of it where it was just like, no, nobody is safe. Nobody is safe and guaranteed shit in this fucking life. You're not. Are you going to be okay? Most likely. But are you guaranteed to sit in the same level of comfort that you are? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So we create these illusions throughout our lives, right? Some people think they're okay because they got a little money in the bank, right? And so they're in the illusion that they're good, that they're high standard or high society now. I've seen some very ghetto motherfuckers think that they're high sedity, and it's just like, no, you just have money. You just have a little money. You didn't elevate. You didn't elevate. The money didn't elevate you. There's this misconception about, money is the root to all evil. And money is not the root to all evil. Money just shows people's true colors. Um, and we should be thankful that money is a concept, because now you see people's greed behind money. You see people's, the way it is. You see their true self behind money. Soon as money gets involved, somebody will show their ass when it comes to money. We have a scammer on the live, y'all. I'm not aware that my boss don't complain of me stay in OT when there's none offered. Good morning, Vera. Man, I used to be milking that OT too, Sakori. Every last second I could get when there's never OT. When there's never OT. We get quarterly updates in the meeting about our company, but in 2008, the job I had for 7 years was closed. The stores in my hometown, and I had to relocate for 9 years. Yeah. So we do. For me, being delusional is, even though you have that information, you will still think you're okay. That's delusional, right? Because the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing, expecting different results. So for me, delusional is sitting in any type of situation where you know the truth, but you choose to be in the delusion because, it's better to be there. It's the same thing with healing. When someone says, oh, I'm okay, you know damn well you're not okay. You know damn well your ass is triggered every time somebody new. You know damn well you are not okay. You are still the bitter ex, right? But you will sit and tell yourself, I'm okay. Illusions, delusions for some of you, okay? Some people will act and claim that they're good, but you still talking major shit. Now, I do talk about situations. I don't down talk my baby daddy though, If you are still mad, like if you start talking about a situation, this is how you know you're not over. If you start talking about a situation and you start feeling the heat and you're pissed off, you're not okay. You're not over it. You're not over it. If you are still pissed off and mad about what somebody did to you, you're not over it. You're not. If you still calling that person a dumbass or that stupid bitch, that fucking idiot, you're not over it. You're sitting in this, you're telling yourself you are to pretend that you are, instead of just instead of just you admitting, you know what, I'm still pissed. But people get embarrassed. People get embarrassed to admit that. Nobody wants to admit that I'm still pissed off that you left me. I'm still pissed off that you cheated on me. Nobody wants to fucking admit that shit. Nobody wants to say after 12 years, I'm still salty as fuck. They're embarrassed. People are embarrassed to say that. Grand Rising, Sasha, good morning. Don't fake it no more, Vera. The worst thing you could do for yourself is sit around here and fake that you are okay. I did that shit for fucking decades. I became a fucking master of hiding my emotions and feelings. Nobody would even know anything's wrong with me unless I said so. You could never fucking tell. And then there's times now that I still have to take a step back and go, don't do it. Don't keep pretending to be okay when you're not okay. Don't pretend to be happy if you're not. And so last year I had to really work on that of changing to get to that true happiness. And when I found it, I was like, oh, this is what real happiness feels like versus the pretend happiness that I've been in my whole fucking life. Okay. Huge difference. You got to stop pretending because who are we pretending for? How does it help pretending to be okay or pretending that you are okay in a situation that you're not, definitely not okay in, right? You can be over it and still not be healed from it. You could tell yourself every day, I'm over this, I'm done, and still not have healed the situation. Because if you haven't forgiven yourself, first of all, for dealing with the bullshit or whatever happened, right? And then forgiving the person, it's still out there. That energy is still out there, right? Right. 30 something years later and they still ain't over it. Good morning, Stephanie. Right. It's okay to be, it's okay to look back and be like, damn, you know what? I was with this person and now I see like, damn, I made some pretty, pretty not so nice choices, right? But you can't change it. You're with that person, you can't change it, right? So all you can do is say, what did I take away from this experience? Don't be embarrassed about it anymore. Because too many of us go through the same shit and we're embarrassed. Why? Hundreds of people go through the same shit. You know how many people have been fucking cheated on and went back to the same person and got cheated on multiple fucking times? Many. You know how many people have been in an abusive relationship and gone back to that person? How many times? We got to get past the embarrassment. That's our ego. That's our ego. Our ego's embarrassed. Our ego is bruised. Get past that. Fuck that. Of course, you're not going to be okay with it now when you look back. Of course, you're going to be like, fuck, what was I thinking? The key is not to demean yourself any more than what you already had went through. The key is to love and send compassion to that younger version of yourself, to understand that you made choices in what you knew at the time. You knew what you knew and you were trying the best that you could in that moment. Even if now you look back and you're like, man, we could have did better. You didn't though. Accept it. You got to accept that you didn't do better. You got to accept that that's the choice you fucking made in that moment. As fucked up as that may be, as fucked up as what may have occurred because of your decisions, you got to accept it. That doesn't mean anybody has to take you back in their life. And that doesn't mean you got to take anybody else back in your life. But if you can look back, send yourself that acceptance, like, I accept what has happened. I accept this situation. And I'm going to go ahead and love myself regardless. Because, yeah, I've made some mistakes and nobody's perfect. Nobody in this life is perfect. So we're demeaning ourselves. We are keeping ourselves in a state of suffering. For what? Because of what somebody else is going to think? Why? You're not making your kid's life better by faking it. And I tell this story all the time, Vera, and I don't know if you've heard it, but, when my daughter got older, me and her had these adult conversations, and there was so much that she didn't know about me that I went through. And she was so shocked when I told her about some of the shit that I had went through. And she was like, Mom, I wouldn't have been mad at you had you have told me a lot of this. And I thought I was protecting her as a mom. I thought I was protecting her. I did. I didn't. Because kids are smarter than what we fucking think they are, first of all. She knew I was hurting. She knew something was up, but she didn't understand. She couldn't understand because she didn't have the pieces to understand, right? And I didn't give her that. I didn't give her that because I didn't feel it was necessary. We think we're making our children happy, but are we? You think your kids are stupid? You think your kids don't fucking see? You think your kids don't feel? You think your kids don't understand that you're agitated, that you're pissed off, that behind the mask, you think they don't feel that energy? Mm-mm. Become aware. They can feel it. Right, Sakori. The biggest thing of this is looking into that and just keep sitting with that part of you. That's what we don't do. We don't go back because we're still embarrassed of that part of us. We're still hurt of that part of us. We're still talking shit about the younger version of ourselves. And you got to sit with her. You got to sit with that younger version of yourself. You know, she needs love too. She needs to know that, you know, we make mistakes. She needs to know, or he, for the men that are watching, he needs to know we make mistakes, right? Um, you guys, we get to a point now in the present we're loving ourselves. But do you love the person you were? Of course not. Hell no. It's like, man, I was a hothead. But you gotta send some love and think of what was that younger person going through in those moments, right? Nobody wants to admit when some crazy shit happens in their life. It is embarrassing. It's embarrassing to talk about it. It's embarrassing to fucking own up to, but you're not alone. You know how many people go through the same things that you've went through? You're not alone. Only through conversation and healing do you understand that. Because most of the time you're just sitting in silence dealing with it, thinking that, you know, you're the worst fucking person ever. Right. And we all do. We all look back like, what the hell? What was I thinking? Especially with relationships. But that comes with the illusion of most people in a lot of relationships, you see what you want it to be and you miss because you're so far into what it can be, you're missing what's going on in front of you. And that's sometimes our infatuation, or some people say love, but like you have to determine whether or not you love somebody. I can look back and see that I haven't loved anybody, not in a relationship. I was very infatuated with people I had love for. I have a lot of love. I don't wish my daughter's father, you know, nothing bad on him. I don't wish him any harm or anything. I don't even wish for him to get karma. There was a time where I used to be like, man, I can't wait for your ass to get your karma back. I don't wish him bad though. Um, but was I in love? I was never in love. I was infatuated a lot. I didn't know what love was or how love was. And so when you get older or you go through your spiritual path, wherever you're at, and you start to understand what love is, right? The definition from Creator's love. Um, a neat fact, me working with Nicole Laswell, and if you've seen her on here, you might have seen her in the tribe and stuff. She does theta healing. One of the things that theta healing teaches is how to get the definition downloaded from Creator, your Creator's energy. And that's something I didn't realize. But as this past year has happened, because I had a session with her back in January of 2021 and then in March 2021. So it's been a year, and integration keeps happening after you've had healing sessions. So sometimes it takes months for things to kind of come through. But as you're realizing, you're changing in the awareness and you understand, wait a minute, I haven't been operating from a place of love. I haven't been operating from my heart space, you know? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it is very scary. You know, we're always sitting in a place of thinking, what's the judgment going to be? What is someone going to think about me? What is their perception? Because as soon as you say something, perception change, right? As soon as you admit something out loud to somebody, the shift of the energy can be real. So we always have that fear of what somebody's going to think about us when we say this, that, and the third, you know? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And I always send that one, Stephanie, because our younger selves are still okay. So depending on what you believe in, and you don't gotta change your belief systems to believe this part, but this is what I believe. I do believe that beyond this physical reality, there's time and space doesn't exist, right? And I do believe all of the levels of us, our ages are still alive in time and space. That energy does not die, right? So if that is true, when you're doing those meditations and you're going back to a younger space, you are able to heal. You can't change what happened, but you're able to heal so that part of you is not sitting in that hurt and that pain. And the only reason why I believe that is because I've done it with my own self. I've done it with myself. This is stuff that I've practiced and done since 2020. 2020 is when I really got with some profound healers like Cynthia Glickman. I talk about them all the time. And then later on, I met matter of fact, in 2021, I met Nicole Laswell. I've also, Cherie Jackson, you guys have seen her on here as well. She's a phenomenal healer as well. You know, and then now, of course, you guys might see Vera Lynn around, who is in Geo Love. So there's all these different modalities that just are epic and life changing, right? The only reason why I believe what I believe is because I've experienced the healing and I've watched my younger versions heal. And that for me brought tears to my eyes each and every time. I always tell you guys I'm still working with my 15-year-old. She's the one who took the most hurt and pain in this life. And she's the most difficult one. She's the most stubborn and difficult. And it's okay. I don't rush her and I don't pressure her. She will come around when she truly trusts me and sees that I've been showing up. The thing about it, when I tell you guys, you got to show up for yourself. You got to show up for yourself. You got to fucking show up for those younger versions. You can't keep doing what everybody else did to you and expect those younger versions to listen. It's not going to happen. So you have to start showing up. Oh, Alyssa Herrera. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for, I don't want to forget her because I did a past life in quantum healing with her. Beautiful fucking energy. And I hope to learn from her, actually. I really hope I can maybe learn or intern with her as I want to step into the QHT myself. Beautiful energies these ladies are who spirit has brought in my path, right? And I wouldn't have been able to get to where I'm at had I not have sat in these sessions and done the work and watched, myself. But then I had to show up for self. And that means to really put myself first. And you guys know, I tell you all the time, I've lost a lot of people by putting myself first. It's okay. The real ones will come back around at some point. The real ones will understand at some point. All the fake ones will go and they will leave and they will never come back. And you just have to say, okay, I guess that person wasn't meant to be in my life. I know you can't be wishing nobody karma. The thing about it is a lot of people, karma's going to happen regardless. You don't have to wish somebody bad because guess what you're doing in that moment? You're ill wishing, which what opens up fucking karma for you. The second you're like, oh, bitch, I hope you get your karma. I can't wait to see you get your karma. You are opening up a can of fucking karma for that ass. So for me, I believe in karma. I believe sometimes we won't see it in this life, but we will see it in the next life. And me particularly, I ain't trying to do no more karma in no lives. I still have karma to pay for this life because of my hot temper, because of my ill wishing when someone would piss me off. And I'd be like, man, I hope karma gets your ass. Just by saying that, it's coming from a place of hurt and hate, right? Coming from a place of anger. There are some things that you like, damn, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. When I got to a certain point in my life, I would actually, and I still do this to this day, when I know I'm hot tempered, I'm hot tempered. I'm a fucking fire sign. Like, let's be real. Some shit you just can't change, right? When shit starts going left, I back away because I know me, I know my mouth, I know where it will go very fucking quickly. So I try to back away and let things calm down. You have to start to change the way you react to situations, especially when you know how you normally react. And just because someone has triggered you doesn't give you the right to react. We just saw that. We talked about Will Smith and Chris Rock, right? Just because someone triggers you doesn't give you the right to snap, doesn't give you the right to slap, hit, hurt somebody, doesn't give you a right to fucking demean someone. It doesn't give you a right because this person triggered you. Okay. Um, it just doesn't. So you have to like take that step back and kind of say, okay, let me operate a little bit differently. So the way I try to show up today is where I don't wish anybody bad. I know karma will come around, you know, and I'm not trying to be in the fucking path of karma. You know, I had this one crazy, and I have lucid dreaming and I have profound dreams, and I meet a lot of beautiful energies in my dream. And I remember just being able to witness the Lord of Karma. That's why I say karma. Everyone says karma's a bitch, but it's not. It's such a masculine energy. Such a it's the Lord of Karma, Saturn, which is all masculine energy, the Lord of Karma, and it's a beast. Okay, it does not discriminate, and the karmic energy of the universe does not fade away just because you die in this lifetime. Nope. Okay, so if you believe that and you understand that, good morning, good morning. I don't know who Facebook user is, but good morning, Facebook user. Good morning, Debbie. You will start to act accordingly and not in fear. I'm not reacting out of fear, like, oh my God, I fear this and that and the third. No, I'm actually aware and making decisions to be a better person in life. Very fucking different. Because if you operate in fear of karma, then you're still in the lower vibration. So it's not to fear karma, it's to understand karma. And karma's not all bad. You know, there is the tit for tat karma, but we also have lessons, pure lessons that we came to learn in each lifetime. That is karma. You necessarily didn't do anything to get it, but you signed up for a particular set of lessons. You know, you signed up to learn some things in this life, and some of it is from your past life, but not all of it. Yeah, yeah. She's amazing. Alyssa Herrera, she's amazing. And I always refer her out to anyone looking for past life because I did it with her and she was amazing. I loved it. Even though my higher self, I say she was being a bitch and didn't give me all my answers. But now, 2 years later, I understand why she didn't give me the answers that I was seeking. I wasn't ready. You say that now, but your ass came this time. The thing is, if you don't satisfy your karma though, and you don't learn your lessons, you will be back. You will be back to repeat shit. I keep saying I don't want to come back, but that means I have to elevate to you got to elevate to like Buddha, Jesus, Mother Teresa energy. Man, I'm not there yet in this lifetime. I mean, I'm a way more elevated than probably I ever been in any lifetime. But I don't know if I'm there yet. Jesus was just like, I'm here, put me on a cross. I still ain't gonna say nothing. And I think I would be cussing him out. I think I would be doing more than just sitting there. They would have to take me out. I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't think I'm ready for that. I say this all the time. I want, and I keep working to be the best version of myself. But there's some things that I have a hard trouble of understanding, which is anything harmful towards kids. I just see red. I just can't. It's like something within me that just I can't do it. I can't just something about that just gets to me on a whole nother level. And kids are probably the one thing in life that I will take karma for, to protect a child or to go to bat for a child. That's where I will take that karma. It's probably the only thing that I'll take karma for is a child's innocence. Um, Mary Magdalene was his twin. I don't know. Did she get hung? I don't know. I know. But we do. The only thing is we don't remember what the break is in between the lifetimes. So your last lifetime could have been 500 years ago. You don't know unless you do some past life and see, right? You don't know where you've bumped around and shit. And it's just crazy to see like, oh shit, I was there. From what I see, my lifetimes had a lot of years in between. And then I decided to come back in this fucking era. I don't know. I'm glad I decided to come back when I did though, because I couldn't be younger than what I am right now. Lord help these people. Please help these people. Oh, his biological twin. I didn't know Jesus had a biological twin. I've never heard that story. I mean, I personally think her and Joseph got down and got pregnant, but hey, that's my opinion. Um, I didn't know he had a twin though. I'm not into I haven't really gotten into any of those stories and gone down the rabbit hole. Um I did go down the rabbit hole of Jesus's twin flame, but that's because I'm a twin flame support, and guide. So I have to do research on twin flames. But religion, I've only done minimal look into different religious belief systems and stuff just because I'm just not interested in it. Doesn't do me any good. Um, so you guys, as we're rolling through this life, biggest thing you can do for yourself is, oh yeah, huge ass rabbit hole. Mm, maybe, maybe, maybe. And you could keep going down those rabbit holes. I have to stop and pull out the rabbit hole a little bit because if you keep going, sometimes you're just like, oh my goodness. I think we do, or we at least we have a choice to. But some people choose to do the same shit, different day. And that's on them. I think we do have that instinct. I think that's where a lot of our gut instincts come from, knowing that we should choose something different. But do we is the question, right? Right, right, right. I do think we've lived this life a couple times also. And I know some people have a hard time wrapping their mind around that reality, but I actually think we live this life a couple times as well. And I know I've done this life a couple times. And that's what, for me, deja vu is the reminder that you are picking the same bullshit. That no matter what, you're picking the same shit. So I don't know if we necessarily pick different things or that we're more elevated. I think sometimes, no matter what, we kind of keep going down the same path, um, the same feelings, choosing the same things. And then, when we don't listen to that inner instinct, what happens? Later on, we're like, oh, I knew that was going to end bad. I knew that wasn't going to work. I knew it, right? Oh, that sucks, Sasha. Yeah. I haven't had deja vu in a while either. So I'm hoping this year we got it right. I hope this year we got it right. Because, man, I can't be making the same decisions. I can't be going through the same shit. Jeremica, no, not all the time. I personally believe, because I've seen this in my own experience, right? And you guys got to get your own experiences to validate what you believe. I've actually seen, me and my daughter have been sisters in another life. Um, Well, I don't believe that. If we could, as feminines, if we could call ourselves goddesses, then a man can call himself God. That's not sacrilegious. Oh, unless you believe in religion, then, yeah, then it's sacrilegious to you. But if we can walk around and say we're goddesses, then men can walk around and say that they're gods. Men aren't lower than us as that. And I do believe we are fantastic, beautiful beings, creations of Creator. And so we're created in that image, and we are goddesses and gods. We just don't know it because religion tore us down to believe we were nothing. Religion told you that you need to go through a priest or a pastor to speak to God, and you don't. You can go through your own energy because you're always connected to your creator. You're never separate or disconnected to creator. You actually don't need a priest or a pope to connect to your creator energy. That's the misconception of religions, should I say. Sometimes I think when they're supposed to. Some people have had their parents in another life or their children in this life. Um, I have actually had like someone who's not a biological child for me in this life, but she was a child in another life with me. That's why we had the connection we had in this life. I think it just depends. It really just depends. There's all these different scenarios, of what happens and why, and where our people, come, and why we come together, why we choose to come together, why do we bounce around in the different categories of family and friends. It's crazy when you get out of the just normal construct of family, thinking we just always repeat with the same parents, and that's not true. I did see a past life where my mom in this life, she was my mom, but my dad was different. It was a different person. So, it was a different concept, right? It's like, oh shit, yeah, we can have them in some lives and then not. And it's just like, but you won't know that until you start going through your meditative process, going within with your higher self, asking to be shown these things, and then you can get more clarity on these things. We think of a spirit as just in this body, but our spirit extends out past this physical body. Our spirit and soul connect to something that is way bigger that we cannot understand. We cannot understand or grasp what that looks like in energy, because we talk about spirit, so people think ghost, right? But if you flip it, like me, an energy person, right? Flip it and go to energy. That energy extends through time and space. We are all energy combined with each other. So if we go past the spirit part and look at the energetic versions of us, there's so much more to our connection than what we realize. We're not just these people, this identity, right? We get an identity when we're reborn, right, into this life. This is my identity. That's the ego, right, that comes out, my personality. But I'm not this person in every life. I'm not the same person. My personality changes, who I am, where I am, the dynamic, the background, the ethnicity, all of that changes. Well, that's your opinion, Gloria. Um, you probably don't see that I'm streaming on other platforms. I'm not just on YouTube, so I'm talking to multiple people. And that's why we elevate. Once you elevate, when you're opening up your awareness, when you open up your awareness, you're seeing the different perceptions, you're seeing the different possibilities. You're understanding that your belief systems are not right or wrong. They're just a different perception, a different way of looking at things. And I'm not Wiccan. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Perception and your views and your belief systems and your traditions. Mm. I think you're Gloria, I think you're comparing apples and oranges. Spirituality and religion is not religion is not science. Religion is a form, if any, it's like spirituality, it's a belief system. Somebody told you to believe in something, and so you did. Whereas us in spirituality are searching for our own truth, especially myself. I'm not searching for anybody else's truth but mine. And the only thing I can do is share my experiences with the people who come to listen. That's it. So if you're comparing apples and oranges, that's not going to be on the same. It's not going to be on the same level. It's not going to be on the same level. I personally don't believe I need to go to a pope or a pastor or a priest to connect with my creator energy. I connect with my creator energy every day. So I think it's just how you see things. If you want to be separate from your creator, be separate from your creator. That's your choice. It's your choice. It's your plan. It's your, hey, you know, do it. I agree. Divergent, I think in religion is indoctrination. I think it is. It's pre-programming, and it's to get you to believe that you're nothing. Most religions were beaten into our ancestors. My ancestors did not believe they were Catholic because they wanted to. It was beaten into them. So for me, I don't believe in that stuff. I'm not gonna support or believe or have a tradition on something that was beaten into my ancestors and caused a lot of trauma through my blood and my DNA. Not willing to do it. I've spent a lot of time doing a lot of ancestral healing, and healing the lines before me. And I refuse to go back to things that cause so much damage in our line. I just won't do it. But again, you guys have your ability to do whatever you want. It's your life. It's your belief system. It's your perception. You know what? The only reason why we're scared is because what we were taught. We were taught that things are scary. We're taught that anything unknown is demons and devils. It's crazy because most people will believe in demons and devils, but can't see any other perspective in life. Like, all right, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Yeah, I don't believe in sin in that way. We just talked about karma. I believe in, there's things that morally to your core are going to tell you what's right or wrong. And if you're in a loving space, you will always choose a loving, compassionate, understanding way to deal with something. When you step into the anger and the judgment, harm, violence, well, that's not loving, is it? It's not loving at all. You're not acting or being in the heart space. And we've talked about marriage here a lot, right? Yeah. Nobody deleted Gloria. Well, I'm not on YouTube, so I can't see what's happening over there. But I think we got to be able to talk about it. We got to be able to talk about these things. Okay. So I'm not sure why she said, do I advocate for infanticide? I don't even think we've ever talked about that. And I would never, okay, think it's okay to kill a child. I just got through saying that I would take karma for a kid. I don't think anyone, she's not a worm, Tyrone, so be respectful, or you can be timed out too. She's a moderator on my YouTube to make sure that we stay where we need to stay in a conversation. I'm streaming on a couple different platforms. So if she feels like she needs to time somebody out, then she'll time them out. But if you start getting disrespectful, you can be timed out or deleted also. Um, if we're going to be an open conversation, have an open conversation, don't get in your feelings about the conversation. Like, let's just have a peaceful conversation. Um, but again, no, I wouldn't condone someone taking the life of their child. I don't understand that part. Um, So I can delete you right now because we ain't about that life. We can just block your ass now. Um, so that person's blocked on my YouTube because they want to talk shit, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna woosah. I don't um I blocked them, Divergent. I blocked them because I don't believe in name calling. I don't think you should start name calling just because you're in your feelings. Again, you got to take that time out. If you start getting irritated or triggered, time out. Time out. Check your fucking emotions and feelings. We're having a conversation. This is not fucking, we're not on trial. Like Jesus. Um, I could say what I want to say. It's my channel. I could say what I want to say, but I am not being demeaning towards anybody else. So if anybody gets demeaning or talking shit to someone else on my channel, you will be fucking deleted. I don't give a shit. You could like it, don't like it, fucking go to another channel. Like, some people just, I think it's gonna be the day of fuckery. Closed minded is definitely it, Sakori. So anywho, let's get back. We're at an hour. Some people will not be able to open up their perception. Some people will not be able to see things from that different. Just for you in your path, become aware. I should behave properly by whose notion? Your standards or mine? Because I'm behaving in my standards. And so that's the only person's standards that I feel like I need to fucking adhere to. So if you don't like it, again, you could get off my YouTube channel. Like, real shit. Don't like what I'm saying? Get off. If you don't like the word fuck, get off. Because I say fuck a million times a day. Fuck, 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 fuck. Now I'm being petty. Okay, so I know you weren't offended, but I'm not going to have someone stay on my channel calling somebody a maggot or a worm. Like, what the fuck? No, that's disrespectful. They will come. If you create a space, they will come. Just know that you create a space, they will come. I am. I'm a goddess who swears like a hooker. Yep. You sure right. And I will hang with a hooker. I'll give props to a hooker because I'm no better than a hooker. Neither are you guys who are jumping on my YouTube, who apparently ain't got shit else to do with your life today. You guys on Facebook are not seeing this, but that's what's going on my YouTube channel right now. you know, people who are hurt, worthless, they feel like they need to try to tear somebody else down. So you got people who are bold on social media that feel like they need to come and tear somebody down. I've been through way too much in my life. That shit ain't gonna fucking make me mad. I don't give a fuck what you call me. You can call me what you want to. Words, I don't give a fuck. Call me what you want to. If you're that fucked up in your life that you need to jump on somebody's live and start talking shit, it's very sad. You're a fucking sad person. But, you know, that's how people are these days. Sad. You know what? I can't be mad at them. Some people don't like, some people don't like cursing, you know? It used to offend me that they were offended. But that was just like, yeah, all right. You don't like cursing. The thing about it is you have a choice, right? If you're watching, somebody and you don't like them, click off. That's all I'm gonna say. Click off. Just click off. Don't fucking watch them no more. You don't gotta get on there and hate. You don't gotta get on there and talk shit. You don't gotta get on there and try to demean someone and make them feel shitty about their day, fuck up their whole day. Just click off. It's sad. That's all the hurt people in the world, though. Hurt people hurt people. Hey, Lori. Right. Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Right. I cuss. I'm not going to change that. If people don't like it, okay, bye. Go to another person who doesn't curse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're sorry. But that was a good one, though. I'm a goddess that acts like a hooker. Wait, what? The shit that people say these days. The shit that people say these days.